everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on this look. I did use a different shade for the lid, but the rest of the eyeshadows are from that palette. I'm using one of my Lime Crime lipsticks as well, and I'm using the new Papa Don't Peach blush on my cheeks from Too Faced. So this is a very warm toned, kind of semi-glam, glitzy kind of look. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye. Hello everybody. So first I'm going to be priming my eyes with my Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Enigma, which is like a lovely neutral matte eyeshadow primer which will keep your eyeshadow in place all day as long as you make sure you cover your entire lid. And then a primer for the face, which is my Lauder Mercier Foundation Primer. This is the same as a eyeshadow primer but for your face to keep your foundation also in place all day long. Now the foundation I'm using is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation, which is one of my favorite ones. I'm using the shade Honey Bronze and dotting it all over my face before I blend it in with a Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. I did my brows off camera as I always do, and my brow tutorial routine is linked below in the info bar. Now for concealer and highlighting the face, I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer Cream, and as this is quite a light shade, I tend to use this to highlight my face as well. I have been liking placing a bit more concealer on my nose as well because I find that it keeps the nose quite nicely covered throughout the day. And then I'm blending it all in with a Real Techniques beauty blender. I don't really like these beauty blenders. I don't know if I'm the only one. I like the original beauty blenders, but this is just what I had handy lying around so that I could blend everything out. Then I'm going to be setting it all with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour palette and a Real Techniques contour brush. And then to set the foundation, I'm using my MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus foundation in NC42 and just setting my foundation with a large Sigma powder brush. And then I am going to be prepping my lips for lipstick later on using my Carmex lip balm. I'm using the shade Thanks a Latte from the Holy Grail palette, and I'm applying it all over my entire eye with a Sigma F40 tapered blending brush. This is just to neutralize my eye color as well as set the primer in case it's still a little bit wet and tacky. Then I'm going into the crease with the shade Transition, and I'm using a Morphe M330 brush, going backwards and forwards and building up that transition shade, which is why this shade is called Transition. So just keep building it up, going backwards and forwards in windshield wiper motions to get the desired intensity of the shade. Next, I'm using the shade Wine and Dine, and I'm using a MAC 224 brush, and I am going into the lower part of the crease, so basically right into the crease, and blending backwards and forwards. As you can see, I'm not doing complete windshield wiper motions. I'm kind of drag, blend, drag, blend, drag, blend, making sure that the outer part of the eye has got a little bit more depth to it than the rest of the eye, and a lot of blending is required. I do tend to do some of it off camera just so that I don't bore you guys. So basically keep blending it until it's almost like a sunset kind of look going on in your eyes, and make sure that there are no harsh lines. Then just take the same Morphe brush with no extra product and blend above again, just to make sure that there are no harsh lines. There's a lot of blending involved in this look, as there is with most looks, and there's nothing wrong with going back in with a almost blank brush just to blend out anything and make it look a lot more soft. Then I'm using the shade Teddy Bear, and I'm using a Zoeva 228 crease brush, and I'm going into the outer V area where I'm just dabbing it and quietly, not quietly like it's making a noise, softly dragging it inwards slightly to create a slight smoked out look. I don't want it to be too full on smoked out, but as you can see, I'm just placing it and just kind of wiggling it around in circles in that same area and only dragging it slightly inwards. And then take the same MAC brush and just go over the teddy bear shade and the wine and dine just to connect them together. Then I'm using the shade Crystal and I'm applying it to the brow bone with a 227 fluff brush by MAC. This is just to open up the eyes even more and just get a little bit of shimmer going on. This isn't completely matte, but it's not completely frosty either. And then again with the same Morphe brush, just blend out any harsh lines that may have appeared after applying that brow bone shade. From Colourpop, I'm using the shade Fringe, which is a metallic kind of ivory champagne sort of colour, and the best way to apply these is with your finger. So that's exactly what I've done, and I am slowly patting it on all over the eyelid to the empty space. Because these are cream to powder shadows, you have to kind of go back in once or twice and be careful as you build up the shade, because blending out a shimmer shade can mean that the shimmer can kind of transfer to other places. So try to keep it as concentrated as possible and use the edge of your fingertip to kind of blend out the top as I'm doing. Now, because there's a very obvious harsh line between Fringe and Teddy Bear, go back in with that Teddy Bear shade and the Zoeva brush, and just to connect the two, don't drag it too much so that you don't get any shimmer onto the matte shade, but just connect it so that it looks nice and neat. Now I'm doing my eyeliner, which is my NYC liquid liner. I love this eyeliner. I bought it when I was in Canada. I think I got it from Walmart. I love using this every single day to do my eyeliner. It's absolutely fabulous. And then use your mascara of choice. Mine is the L'Oreal something 4D something, and just apply that all over your eyelashes. And I'm using the Camille eyelashes, Camille Easy Lash eyelashes by Huda Beauty, and I'm using a Bourjois lash applicator to apply them very slowly onto my eyes. I love these eyelashes. Then I'm using Wine and Dine again, and I'm going in to the lower lash line with a Sigma pencil brush, blending backwards and forwards so that again there's no harsh lines, and just to kind of connect that shade to the shade above so that there's nice kind of uniformity between the warm toned colors. How does that sound? Cheesy? Make sense? Not really. And then use your kohl. I'm using the Rimmel Scandalized Kohl Kajal in the shade Black to apply it to my waterline, as I always do. I prefer black on me. I don't know why. I just prefer it. And I'm using the shade So Jelly, which is a iridescent pink shade, and I'm applying it to my tear duct to slightly open up the eyes with a MAC pencil brush. I love this shade, especially on the lid. This shade looks absolutely amazing, but for now we use it on the tear duct. And then I am just applying the mascara to my lower lash line to give a really dull, open-eyed effect. And as always, I'm setting my eyebrows last using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel in the shade Chocolate. This is just to get rid of any powder or any foundation, and to set to my eyebrows so that they don't move at all day long. Voila! Here are the finished eyes. Flutter, flutter. Now I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette again, and I am carving out my cheekbones using a Sigma angled brush, as I always do. I've got a slightly round face, so I tend to connect the contour to the top of my ear and drag it down to make my face appear a little bit more slim. I only do a tiny bit to my nose because I don't feel that it needs too much contouring, and then to the rest of my face just so that it doesn't look so 2D because of the foundation. And then I'm using my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I am cutting out my contour with a Morphe brush. I can't remember the name, contour brush. I will list it below. This is just so that I can tidy up the contour. Any mess or mistake that I've made, I can tidy it up, and also to sharpen out the features slightly. And then I'm just brushing it off after a couple of seconds with the same Real Techniques contour brush that I use for so many different things. I love this brush, it's one of my faves. Now I'm using the Papa Don't Peach blush from Too Faced, which isn't that great, which is why you will see that I'm having to apply it so much on my face. I'm using a Royal & Langnickel blush brush. Again, I will list the name below. I don't really recommend this blush. I mean, use Modern Mandarin by MAC, which is even better than that one. And then I am using Makeup Geek's highlighter in the shade Lit, and I'm using a Morphe M501 pointed blender brush to apply it to the tops of my cheekbones as a highlighter to really kind of illuminate my face. I love the Makeup Geek highlighters, by the way. And yeah, so just keep going backwards and forwards, building it up to the intensity that you want it to have. A little bit on the end of the nose, only a touch. We don't look like a complete light bulb, only a very dimmed light bulb. And then I'm just using that same blush brush again to blend out any harsh lines, so that in case the highlighter has gone too low and we don't want it to emphasize any pores, then I'm using the NYX HD powder in the shade Banana, as I always do, just to kind of tidy up any messes and whatnot. And then lastly, I'm using the Lime Crime Rustic Velveteen, which is a really gorgeous kind of reddish terracotta shade, and I'm applying this all over the lips. This is one of my favorite Lime Crime lipsticks, absolutely love it. And then that's it, the look is done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.